abduction and sexual assault and murder of innocents, just wee girls, is particularly horrific.
Black was finally arrested in 1990 after trying to snatch a young girl in broad daylight. He was eventually convicted of 4 child murders between 1981 and 1986. His youngest victim was only 5 years old.
I think the impact of the Robert Black case on the community and on the nation was pretty devastating. This was the end of the idea of the innocence of childhood. After the Black case, I think parents started putting more restrictions on their children's freedom.
Pat Cardy's 9-year-old daughter Jennifer was abducted and murdered by Black in 1981. But it would take several years before she knew who was responsible for killing her daughter.
We still miss her, particularly our 2 boys. When she was taken, how hard, how difficult, how heavy it was upon them, not understanding anything, but just knowing that she would never be there again. That was brutal.
Journalist Tim Tate investigated Black's life in the hope of discovering why he did what he did.
They were terrible crimes. He probably killed more children than any other convicted child sex serial killer in Britain.
This killer's story begins in 1947. Robert Black was born on the 21st of April in Grangemouth, about 20 miles from Edinburgh, Scotland.
Robert Black's mother was unmarried at the time. There was a real stigma around illegitimacy, so he was given up. Now, his mother went on to get married and to have 4 other children, but she never ever wanted anything to do with Robert Black. So right from the outset, this is somebody who's facing rejection and exclusion. He's somebody who has come into the world with a stigma on him.
Black was fostered by Jack and Margaret Tulip, who lived in a remote western Scottish village.
They were in their mid-50s. They had no previous experience. They were strict. They were God-fearing, and he's never given their name. He's always Robert Black, something that would have marked him out at the time in that small community.
Black later alleged that his foster parents were abusive towards him.
The foster father died when he was 5, but the foster mother continued the abusive behaviour that had been perpetrated beforehand. So he was beaten when he wet the bed. Here is somebody who does not have a safe or a secure home environment. This is a young boy who has got no comfort from anybody whatsoever.
From this disturbed upbringing, Black unsurprisingly rebelled and developed an unhealthy interest in other children.
By the age of 8, he started offending. He's already developed sexualized behavior. He's taking the time and the trouble to peer up little girls' skirts. He has molested, that's putting it gently, a baby. And he's begun to explore bodily orifices. This is the obsession that will be with him all his life.
In 1958, Black's foster mother died, and he was sent to a children's home near Falkirk. His fascination with sex continued, and along with some other boys in the house, he tried to rape a 12-year-old girl.
I think that act, if you like, was the genesis of Black's paedophilia.